Well, it's episode 466 of the Gratu Orloff Show. Coming to you live from Gratuitville, Texas. This is, did I mention it's episode 466? Like it's from Seven Seas, a defunct amusement park, water park that used to be right next to Six Flags over Texas. I hear they're having some fun at some other Six Flags parks up in Maryland, I believe. All right, well, let's shut off the opening theme. Graphic Man's going to be visiting us here this afternoon now, 12:10 p.m. Central Time. Well, I'm up here in the, someone's one person watching. Maybe I should let Graphic Man know I'm live. I'll text him. I am live. Okay, so organizing lots of comics here in the Bronze Age comic room, and got some progress done yesterday, but then I had to undo a lot of the progress. Oh, this Wi-Fi is not good today. So anyway, Graphic Man should be visiting any moment now. There he is. Let's get him on.
Hello, Chief. How are you?
Hey, what's up?
All same as you. Just feel like talking and
is my
feel like talking and streaming, and thought we'd get together and pick each other's brains, have a good little fun.
Yeah.
Now I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm thinking I need to
start over. I don't know if you can hear me, but if you need to, go ahead and pull the plug. That's cool with me. I'll find you. Hello, boys and girls. Hope everyone's doing well. This is Jonah Hex. Isn't that lovely? I don't know if I should stop. I'm sure he'll text me if I should do something differently. Let's see. What could we chit-chat about? Oh, here. We can talk about bandages. Little Joe Kubert action there. That's a real Army general. Not like General Milley. Ha! Here's a text now. We will find out. Oh, it says just a second. All righty. Think he'll be rejoining us. And this might be one of the most watched episodes he has. And but hopefully they'll skip over this first 5 minutes of tediousness. Maybe I should read to you. That's always a hoot. We could read a little Hagar the Horrible. let you read this one yourself here. That's by Dick Brown. Great thing about newspaper strips, you have good command of your inks. Good stuff. Now, back in the day, you probably had all of these. Oh, there you are. I'm rambling.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi was not doing well because I'm in a remote room, so I brought this Wi-Fi extender from the hall to this room.
Oh, it's doing a lot better.
Okay, good, because I prefer to stream from in here than the other room is even more cramped. So yeah, Hagar the Horrible. I love that comic strip. I'm frozen now. Oh, great.
Well, the picture looks really good, though. So.
Well, let me see what's going on. Oh, wait, the range extender's flashing a red dot and then a green dot. It's warming up because I had to unplug it. Can you hear me?
Oh, perfectly.
But I'm frozen? Okay.
Behind you, there's like a chimpanzee mask.
There it is?
Well, way up high.
Yeah. That's a gorilla from Planet of the Apes.
Okay, you're moving a little bit now. Yeah, were you paying attention when Strange Life was on the Wednesday night stream? He had about 3 gorilla masks at different locations.
I saw them all. Yeah, that was.
They looked really cool.
Yeah. I don't have any really deluxe gorilla masks like he does, and Meyer has a good plenty.
Yeah.
That was a Halloween mask that you'd get at a 5 and dime store back in the mid 70s. Okay, so it looks like it's kind of working now. Well, we'll see. Yeah, yesterday I did a quick show where I was going through some comics and I was trying to move. I was thinking I'd move this horde of boxes to the other side of the room, and then I started, and then I realized that was too involved, and then my wife was upset by a call from an old friend of hers, and I needed to get downstairs to talk to her, and so I just wound up moving everything back. So I knew I wouldn't be able to finish before my friend got here. Did you get anything at the comic shop Thursday?
I did. Just so you know, I had I ran through my Scalp Hunter run. I do have some of the early Jonah Hexes, and I like them. I just don't have I'm trying to show you this one. I don't have obviously 1 through 38, but I did notice that Dr. Silveridge was showing a what do you call it? Oh, the Jonah Hex where Scalp Hunter shows up. I think it's the Last Jonah Hex. Uh-huh. So I got to looking around, and I found this Brave and Bold with Scalp Hunter. So now I'm in a quandary. Should I put this with my weird Western Tale Scalp Hunter, or should I put it with my Brave and Bold like it normally would belong? But I'm thinking of being a rebel. Well, yeah, but I'm leaning the other way though.
I think it was kind of an unwritten law at DC that the Brave and the Bold stories did not really exist in their continuity, that they were just some weird concoction of that. What was the writer that did all those? I think it was the same writer for years did that.
I don't know.
And he would have Batman team up with Sergeant Rock and all this.
Yeah.
It was Commandy.
Commandy. Yeah. So that's a little good Jim Aparo or Aparo. I always said Aparo, but You know
Oh,
what
is
I'm
it a
talking
para?
about.
But how do I know? It's a
Right.
Spanish name. It would be a paro, wouldn't it? I
We can anglicize or Americanicize their names, I guess. So. One more
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
I noticed. I've been reading Thongor out of Creatures on the Loose. It's just like an 8-issue
Yeah.
run. I've been thoroughly enjoying it, and now I got one more. I'm going to read that tonight when I go to bed.
Let me
But
see
I
if
know
I think, yeah.
I noticed that this was based on some novels that I'm totally unaware of, and I looked around and I found that this guy named Lynn Carter wrote
Yeah.
about six novels. Do you have any of those?
No, did Lynn Carter create that character or did he continue on?
Apparently.
Okay. Because Lynn Carter was, I could be wrong. I think I know him mainly as a guy that finished out some of Robert E. Howard's stories that weren't really finished or altered them to make them all blend into a timeline. I think he was a big, but tried to create his own character as well.
And
Yeah.
by the way, to anybody watching, if you do a search for Thongor, be prepared. You're going to get a lot of images that you're not ready for. Well, you're going to get a lot of thong bikinis. But yeah, I noticed
well,
that the first time Marvel did him, he has black hair, and then by the time the series ends, he's got red hair. And I was reading one of the letter pages, and it said that Lynn Carter had contacted Marvel. Says, "Hey, I've been enjoying the comic adaptation, but Thongor should have red hair." So they did make the change. But when I look at some of those covers on some of those novels, they draw him with black hair or a helmet. You can't see his color hair, but
yeah. Well, they're
I'm
trying to sell books and trying to compete with Conan books.
probably.
This is my first Weird Western Tales. It's number 13. When did Jonah Hex first?
I don't know. I don't know.
There's, he's given credit there, but I guess is that supposed to be him, the silhouette in the background?
I don't
And then
I don't have any of
14.
those.
You don't have these?
No,
I have 14. And then I jumped to 22.
my oldest one is 21.
Oh, okay. I don't have that one. Here's a 25. I paid $5 for that at some point. That's from. And then 28. He spends a lot of time tied down to the desert. Because there's this thing here, and then there are Batman covers with the same thing. I wonder if there's a way to combine all these tied to the desert.
Yeah.
29. I don't know.
Looking
Then
at
it's like a jump to 42. Is this the first Scalp Hunter?
39 is for Scalp Hunter.
Okay. Well, unless I've got stuff in another box, which is possible, I may be missing some comics.
According to Wikipedia, Jonah Hex first appears in All-Star Western number 10.
Oh, okay.
And then I guess at some point they throw him into Weird Western.
Well,
I think Weird Western started with some guy named El Diablo and stuff like that.
Well, that was all before I started. I had to buy all those in the secondhand market because, no, not the ones, not the Scalp Hunter and the Jonah Hex. The early Weird Western Tales, those were before I started buying that type of comic. Yeah, I think I went through that box yesterday. I'm trying to pull out other companies other than Marvel and DC, and that's freeing up space in some of these boxes.
You've kind of got me thinking to do the same thing. About the only thing I won't segregate by company is my Donald Duck and Walt Disney Comics, because they start out with Dell, go to Gold Key,
Yeah.
then go to Gladstone.
I'm keeping that together too, because yeah.
Now there's a couple of breaks, like with Tarzan and Korak. They both start with Dell Gold Key. Well, not Korak, but Tarzan does. And then they jump to DC, and DC keeps the same numbering. So, which is nice of them to do that. But
Yeah.
I still think I may go ahead and segregate them to Gold Key and Dell. And
Yeah,
just
I don't have that many Dell comics just in general I mainly have those comics that were Dell Gold Key, whatever. I have more Gold Key, and so I just throw the Dells with them.
So I'm making a little stack of all the dragon, dinosaur, and sea serpent books, and then I'm making a stack for the week after that of all the ghost stories and stuff like that.
Yeah, I need to think ahead, I guess. Here's some Megaton Man and what that is. Oh, I got that because it had Dave Stevens art.
Yeah, the only image I have would be Bone, where for a brief period of time they took over for Jeff Smith's cartoon books.
I never read Bone. It looks very Pogo-like.
Yeah, that's what it attracted me to it.
I think the guy that did it lives here in town, I believe.
Jeff Smith lives there where you do?
I think so, yeah.
Hey, Tylox.
Carrie Gamble lives over in Fort Worth. Here's in her modern comics. I'll pull that up. Midnight Tales. Oh, it has a dragon. That's what we need, right?
Yeah, especially number 8. Or I thought you were talking about Bone. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you need.
Yeah. Mighty Samson. This is a great cover. I need to put this in my Christmas comics. Okay. Well, that Christmas. And then
I'll go ahead and
first one I bought when I was you go ahead and what?
I'll go ahead and say hi to the chat. We got Gotham City.
Oh shoot, I'm not even looking at it.
And Tylox the Mighty. Hello, Tylox. Yeah, those Mighty Samsons are outstanding.
Yeah, Tylox I first met on your stream. Let me start seeing what people are saying here. Yeah, Gotham City Comics. Yeah, Tylox says
One Charlton.
Tylox's Bone is incredible. Says he needs to get that first Jonah Hex. So do I.
Yeah.
I wonder what would have happened. Good.
Bone is funny. Not only does it look good, it's funny. Especially those first 10 issues. They have the Great Cow Race. People that read Bone, they'll know what I'm talking about. It is just most ridiculous and yet hilarious thing. And it's in the 90s, and that was when I was getting out of comics. But it wasn't part of the mainstream. He was his own self-publisher, and I really liked it.
Well, I found 2 issues of Bone #1 the other day, but they were reprints from Image.
Right.
What company was it originally with?
His company was called Cartoon Books, so the logo would be a CB.
Okay.
And then I guess Image just made him a really good deal, and then he could kind of relax and let them handle it. But then he ends up taking it back over again.
Well, I know that I'm pretty sure he was an Arlington guy, and Kerry Gamble lives over in Fort Worth, and I don't know any other celebrities except for what's his name that sang Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. He lives around here. Okay.
Yeah, Tylox is saying that he's great use of black and white. He's talking about Jeff Smith for Bone. And
Right.
I guess he kind of made his own little font, and that he had them all, every letter in his own little scan, and he could like punch them in when he needed to
Smart.
add text to his own strip.
So he didn't need a letterer.
Right.
Okay, here's Atlas Seaboard. More like 2001.
Yeah, those Seaboard covers are really good.
Oh, yeah.
Great artwork.
You have anything you show nuts? Because I just heard my wife waking up. I want to go see what, because I could
Oh, okay.
for a second.
Yeah, I'll show some Brave and Bold or something.
Okay, let me give you full screen for a second. So layout.
So Tylox, I don't know how much you saw, but Wednesday night I went through every Scalp Hunter from Weird Western Tales. I just completed that run, issues 39 through 70. And Dr. Silveridge had showed me that Scalp Hunter appears in the last issue of Jonah Hex. And so yesterday I was looking around at the bookstore and I found a Brave and Bold where Scalp Hunter shows up. So I grabbed that. I was telling Grut too, I'm tempted to put this with my Scalp Hunters, but I don't know. But I will show some Brave and Bold here. Here's a great cover with Wildcat. Wildcat has a very strange motorcycle. I imagine if he leaves that somewhere and he goes running off to fight some bad guys, that'd be tempting to come along and steal that motorcycle just for that face on the motorcycle. Here's a nice little cover. Let me show it better. So on the Brave and Bold, Batman's always teamed up with somebody, and so I won't give it away who it is. But you had to buy the book for 15 cents to find out. This is Brave and Bold number 95 from 1971. I sound real intelligent because I have all that written down, including where there are some creases in the cover. So try to be a little detailed. Here's an oldie from 1969. Batman and the Teen Titans. And Batman adopts this kid, and he really does adopt this kid. And the kid is no good. And when you adopt somebody and they're no good, people try to point that out to you. Well, it always backfires. They take offense. I saw Wildcat earlier. Here's another Wildcat. This is from 1970. Brave and Bold number 88. Batman wants to fight Wildcat, and these boys aren't going to let that happen. So you have to buy the issue and find out, what did Wildcat do to tick off Batman so bad? I'm sure I have some more Brave and Bold, but up next is The Shadow by Mike Kaluta. Mike Kaluta artwork. I want you to focus in on that gun, the train tracks, the buildings, the other gun. the face. It just doesn't get any better than this. Shadow number 1. The other covers are pretty good, but the first issue is outstanding. Highly recommend that. Here's a good flash. It's 100-page, number 229. And it's a big square bound. So it's got all these stories. Here Flash is tripping the other Flash. I don't know if we want to talk about physics, but when you're going that fast and you put your leg out there and you trip over the leg, that's got to be able to break a shin bone or something. But so my notes on the back are very tedious. I got thousands of words there. I probably overdid it on this one. But I hear Gratu coming back.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to get rid of this pop-up that's blocking what I need to do here.
There are some guys that collect just the 100-page giants. Kind of like Dr. Silver Age collects the checkerboard. Some people they want a whole set of the 100-pagers. So I don't have too many flashes, but when it comes to DC, I prefer Superman, Batman, Brave and Bold, Superman Family.
Oh, yeah. Well, I like the Flash in a certain, the 60s and 70s when they killed off the real Flash. And then it became less interesting. Okay, so I need to put some piles together. So this is a comic I'll put over here. It needs to be with the Charlton, but also I'm saving it out for your show. And then, did you ever read this comic, Mr. Monster?
No, I sure didn't. Everybody that shows that highly recommends it. I ought to, I guess.
I don't have a complete collection or anything, but it's a good comic. So this is Eclipse, I guess. Yeah. I guess I've got more than I realized.
And I commented on your last video saying, looking forward to seeing that weird mystery tales of the sea monster. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that yet.
I'm hoping you'll set that one aside with that good Charlton you just set aside.
Yeah, right up there in another pile.
Good.
Yeah, I did. Man, there's a lot of these. The artwork inside kind of is pretty cool.
Okay.
But it has different styles. I don't know if I should show that, but this is kind of more of a pulp kind of looking. At least this issue is all kinds of different styles, and then they had a lot of. And then they would reprint stuff from the Golden Age. Like there would be Mr. Monster's True Crime, and it would reprint these great Jack Cole covers and the old ads. So Mr. Monster kind of that's what the artwork usually looked like. I think that other in Mr. Monster. But then
can you show that splash again?
Yeah,
that for a brief second it reminded me of like the old. Wow. Yeah.
That's
busy.
That's the style of the art. But then inside this is a reprint comic, but it's cool that it reprints the stuff in color. Yeah, that was the cool thing. There's another issue of Mr. Monster's True Crime, and it's just a really neat way to get these old stories.
And the whole title is called Mr. Monster.
Well, Yeah, Doc Stern, Mr. Monster is the original, but this is a spinoff that does reprints called Mr. Monster's True Crime. And it's a whole different comic, and then there's Mr. Monster Schlock, and this is just reprinting weird stuff from the 50s. Yeah, they had a whole like little line of Mr. Monster. Oh, there's another Schlock. Oh, here's one. I guess I have two copies of that. Here's one that's is that the one I just showed, or was that a different cover?
Yeah, it had the weird guy on the bottom. Yeah,
yeah. This is just like it has Basil Wolverton stuff and
well,
and stuff like that has different meanings today, like this character. And
I'll have to remember that.
Yeah, I forgot about these. And then here's one that reprints horror stuff.
I never saw many Eclipse comics.
Actually, this has reprints. That's Will Eisner, but it also has like news stories in it. So it's like half reprints and then half news stories. And then they have this tribute to Jack Kirby.
Wow.
And they kind of take a dig at Marvel. And then here's another one, Mr. Monster's Weird Tales of the Future.
I've got to get these.
So Mr. Monster was kind of like the Guandanaland of the 90s, I guess. And you open it up, it has the original cover, and then there's Mr. Monster. It's hard to... Everything's backwards from the way when I record a show on the phone, I have to move things the opposite direction on this StreamYard. Anyway, it shows Mr. Monster's girlfriend reading that old comic, and then it goes into the comic. So, yeah, I need a lot more Mr. Monster myself. That's just the extent of my Mr. Monster collection. But that was something that I kept buying when Marvel and DC kind of... And for some reason, I have this Mr. T comic. I can't I own it. I don't remember buying it. But this is Neil Adams art in this one. Moby Duck. I don't know what was the origin of this character. How did he come about?
I don't know so much, but he's popular more in Europe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And these are comic book size, but it was back in I guess it was the mid 90s when these resin model kits were the big rage, and people would sculpt model kits in resin, and then they would people would buy them and paint them, and they're like small quantities, and then sometimes people would recast old Aurora model kits, and so I don't know. I guess I was interested in this. I knew I never could really build one with any degree of competency, but I always
in the 60s, they had that block you'd buy, and then you start chiseling away at it, and the pieces would naturally fall off, revealing a football player or something. I don't know if you had any of those. I never seen one.
Yeah, a friend of mine back then would sculpt. He sculpted them. What he would do is he'd get super soupy, and it was something that he easily sculpt with, and then you could then he would harden that in the oven, and then he would make a mold from that, and then he would cast these kits in resin. And so that's he's my friend Joe Riley that made that Slee Stack sculpture. Here's Monster Hunters. About this comic. It's a Charlton 30-cent. Put that over here.
They had Monster Hunters always had great covers. I think I only have like one or two of them. They're always nicely colored too. Very, very
Yeah,
creepy looking.
yeah. Um,
And
this
maybe the interior wasn't that great, but the cover was always. But that looks good. That looks
this
pretty
one,
good.
the artist is trying to be Wally Wood,
Yeah, that looks pretty
and,
good.
and yeah, this is not as bad. That looks just like generic DC from the mid-70s. This is not really bad. Monster Hunter, I think, was better. I think the ones at least I think I had enough discernment that I wouldn't buy something just for the would if the artwork inside was good. Yeah, this Monster Hunter, the art is pretty good in it too. Um, yeah, and then this one's got a Ditko cover. Never forget what's his name.
Wow.
Is there Ditko art in it though? Oh, some of this may be reprints. I think it is because this ghoul
That's
lady.
okay.
See, that ghoul lady was the host of a Charlton comic in the '60s. Unless they're just reusing, I don't know. I mean, that looks like real bad. These art, but it's got character at least.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll take the reprints any day because they're reprinted from a time that I really appreciate in comics.
well, this doesn't have the Monster Hunter characters. These are reprints from, I think, that weird ghostly tales, but that '60s mod looking ghoul woman was in one of the. I don't remember what the name of the comic was. A Ditko art in it,
Like Scary Tales.
Doctor Strange, in fact.
That redhead from Scary. Yeah.
Yeah, yep, yep. So this is yeah, that dates at $6 Million Man ads, plus the 35-cent price. So I'll put that with the Charltons. I make piles here on top of a long box. I don't know what this is. Steve Rude is an artist that I know to respect, but I've never really gotten long runs of any of his stuff. I just know he's good. This is a character called the Moth. So that's from Rocket Comics. Okay, so I'll put this Mighty Samson with the gold key, and I'm going to put this with my Christmas comics.
Yeah, that cover you just held. That is the most kookiest cover.
Yeah. Okay, this I don't have much image.
Nah.
Megaton Man. I've got some of the Megaton Man comics.
As far as image goes, I was glad they were able to kind of stick it to Marvel a little bit. But at the end of the day, I didn't care to read any of their books.
Yeah, what was their biggest title? I can't remember.
Probably Spawn and then Savage Dragon. Or Youngblood or whatever that dumb thing was. So.
Yeah. Spawn. I guess that was sticking it to Marvel because it was. I just didn't like. I don't really like that character too much.
No.
I mean, doesn't really appeal to me. This is a kitchen sink comic. I don't think it's trying to find if there's anything in here that's. No, this is pretty extreme art inside of it. It's got this art by Simon Lee. I like this guy's art, but the page that's okay. It's he's like this weird hybrid between Frazetta and Richard Corbin, and he does these bizarre covers and but a lot of it's like heavy metal on steroids, and inside
Yeah.
like all kinds of
Yeah.
female and male, so I can't really show that. But I liked his art. Now this is saying I didn't know why I had this, and I saw that there's Dave Stevens art inside. So let me see what that's like. Because I would get anything with Dave Stevens art, but I don't know what Melody is. It's like a girl's comic. I don't see the Dave Stevens art. It's probably just a single. Oh, I see. It's just a single page. It's just a portfolio that has different. I think it's about a exotic dancer, and so they. Yeah, I bought that comic for a single page of art. Okay. What else?
Let's see. I've already told you that I've been loving the Thongor.
Yeah. I was going through Thongor just yesterday, so it's in one of these boxes here.
So, for Graphic Man, I would like to. Oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
For Graphic Man, of course, I'd like to do dragons, dinosaurs. Next week, ghosts, and then as we approach to Halloween, would like to do creepy Frankenstein type stuff. Wolfman. In fact, speaking of Frankenstein, and I know you like Archie, I saw this, and I couldn't resist. Big Ethel is Frankenstein.
Oh no! Yeah, that's cool.
Do you have that?
No, I've never seen that. What's the price? 25 cents.
Yeah.
No,
July 1974. It's an ongoing story inside the book. I'm gonna take scans of it, and around the Halloween time, I'll kind of go through the story. It's of course kooky, but it's.
Did you ever read Myron Moose?
No, all of a sudden now I want to though.
This has got Dr. Seuss art in it. This is second one. I guess that's the second issue, and it's got a Myron Moose art. I don't think this isn't a dirty comic, but it's fake Dr. Seuss art. Yeah, they did fake Dr. Seuss.
Well, that's okay. I'm not a big Seuss fan. Your mileage may vary, but
this.
Oh, I know what that's doing. Yeah. EC Comics.
Weird Moose fantasy. Something you'd create.
I got to get that.
Yeah. Myron Moose. I don't know how long it went on. Fantagraphics books. It's. I think I would put this with my Undergrounds, even though it's not really a dirty comic, but it seems to fit more with the Undergrounds. This is another reprint comic from NEC, Terrible Romance.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the original title to that famous cover.
Yeah, this company, unlike the Mr. Monster, it reprints the stories in black and white, and they also did this Tales Too Terrible to Tell, which was another 50s horror reprint comic from that time period.
I can tell right off the bat I'm going to have to watch the replay of this one and write down all the books you're showing me I'm wanting.
Here's a revival of comics, which I probably should have shown on your science fiction show.
Yeah,
Dave Stevens from 1987, I think that says there. Yeah.
I think Bub showed that.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah. That's and then there's a copy of Nexus, and this I never really read a lot of these, but I understand they're great. This line, Promethea, who was kind of like a Wonder Woman, and then they had Tom Strong with a lot of amazing covers, and
Yeah, I think Dr. Silveridge probably would recommend those.
Let's see. Charlton66 is in the chat, and so is Branko. And,
hey, Steve, Tylox, Bronco, jump in here and join us, man.
There's more the merrier. Here's Basil. Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, what's up, dudes?
Hey.
Not too much. Let me get rid of that comment there.
I just thought I'd check in and show you guys my yard sale haul, man. I got up early this morning, and I just went through Craigslist, and I seen that there was a yard sale, less than a mile and a half away, bicycle riding distance, and I was like, oh, cool, I'll get up. It wasn't too smoky, so it's not comic book related, but it's hella good military stuff. I was blown away. I pulled up, and it was early. There was 3 or 4 people there, but I could tell nobody knew what they were looking at. So anyways, here, I'll flip the camera around and see if you guys can see all this junk.
Give me full screen.
Yeah. So
nice stocks.
I got all that for like $40, and the gem of the deal is this little. Well, there's actually a couple of gems. It's all really good, but this little fork and spoon here. This is World War II German. This is what the Krauts used to use during. This is their field mess kit. I got that for $1.
Wow.
And then I picked up this piece for $1. Hold on, let me get it in here. This is a 1920s snap-on 10-inch drive. It's from the 1920s. Those things, I know that stuff's like worth a bloody fortune. And I didn't know it was snap-on when I got it, but I kind of figured it. And then I got this other good old hand wrench here. I need to do some exploring on. It's got some weird marking on it I've never seen before. I think it's military. And I came back home from the first haul, and I ate breakfast and drank another cup of coffee. And I thought to myself, I go, dude, I got to go back to that yard sale. I think there's more junk, So I go back, and sure as heck, somebody else had gotten there and cleaned out all the hand tools. So I just gave up that ghost. I was like, all right. Well, I'm looking around, and off to the side of the house, I see this. Well, let me get it in here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a World War II Jeep tire pump. And so I pick it up, and I'm like, I look at the guy, and I go, how much for the pump? And he goes, well, isn't it marked? And I said, I don't know. And, I was expecting to pay, $20 or $30 for it. Look what it's marked for. Let's see here. Hold on. Let me get it over here. $5.
Wow.
I said, oh, my goodness gracious, man. So I'm glad I went back. It was definitely worth a double trip. How are you guys doing this morning?
Pretty good. Are you going to sell that on Facebook Market or eBay or?
No, some of the stuff that I don't have, I'll probably keep for myself. Like that tire pump, that's pretty neat, man. I mean, I've been collecting military junk for 40 years, and I've never found one that's in working condition. They're always shot. And that one works, and it's still got a lot of the OD paint on it, and it just needs a new tube and the air tube and adapter on it, which is no big deal. So I'll probably keep that, and the rest of the stuff I've already had or had at one time, and so I don't really care. The rest of it I'll probably get rid of.
Can you
Pretty
show
good.
me
I mean,
that
snap on
gun stocks?
Huh? Go ahead.
Can you show me the gun stocks?
Oh yeah, it's a Remington. Those are Remingtons. Hold on.
Yeah. They didn't have any barrels?
No barrels. Oh, hold on. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, they're both. One's a synthetic, and the other one's a wood one.
I would have
I
kidded the
figured
guys. I would have said,
Huh?
"Oh, there's no barrels. There's no barrels. Or you had to get rid of the evidence." I would have kidded the guy.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, we could go into gun stories for days on end. I think the best one is me and my buddy were working out in Selma, which is about 20 miles south of here, 25 miles south of here. It's all agriculture, grapes and cotton and all that stuff. And we had to go out there and we were disking this I don't know, it was probably about 8 or 10 acres. And we were taking turns on the tractor, and the other guy was riding behind, putting the water behind. And he happened to be on the tractor, so he scored. But he was plowing along, and he plowed up an M14.
No.
Oh, that's killer, dude. Yeah, he plowed up an M14 graphic, man.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? A fully, it had been in the ground, looked like it'd been in the ground for about probably, I don't know, 25 years. And he took it and had it all cleaned. And, the barrel was just fine because they chrome moly those barrels. And he put together an M14. He ran the numbers and it wasn't stolen and it hadn't been used in any whatever. And he put together a whole M14.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyways, what are you guys just chucking through comics?
Yeah. I'm digging through and pulling out anything that's not Marvel and DC and putting them in separate boxes so I can find stuff more easily in the future.
Yeah, I've seen. I've been keeping up tabs.
Yeah, I called Brad too, and I said, "Hey, are you streaming? Because I'm bored and I don't have anything to do till the Alabama game." So, and he said, "Yeah, let's stream." So we're having a ball.
When does that game start?
Oh, probably 3:00. So,
what time is it now?
1.
Here's a reprint comic from AC, the Presto Kid.
Cool.
Let's see.
Presto.
I remember how to do things. I don't know what this is. Is this some? I think it's something. It's the Western Art of Dick Ayers. Did you send me this, or did I buy this on my own?
No, I've never seen that.
Okay, because you sent me some Western comics that were from AC. I think it was a Roy Rogers. Yeah,
it was a Roy Rogers.
Yeah, I think so. I think I should send this off to CGC. This is your Combat. It's in pretty good shape.
Oh, dude, that's like a 9.5 right there, bro.
Really? I like the back cover before they had the face guard on there.
Yeah. Yeah, the last guy to have the one bar was a kicker, and they kind of grandfathered him in. And once he retired, no more just one bar. You had to have a full grill mask with bars and.
Yeah.
Wasn't that guy the kicker for? He kicked for a bunch of different teams, but I think the last time I seen him kicking was like about 98 or 99. He had one bar.
I don't know if it went that long, but of course the most famous would be Joe Theismann, the quarterback for the Redskins. You're not allowed to say Redskins, but I just did. So.
Oh, speaking of Redskins, look at that.
Oh yeah,
that's the main reason why. That's the main reason why I bought that thing. I said, yeah. The guy, the guy's yard sale I was at, he was an American Indian. Huh. Yeah, he's Navajo. He was super cool.
Well,
I go, is that your hunting vest? And he said, nah.
Yeah. I saw a sign for an estate sale, but I decided that would be not wise to go there. We've really got to save money. I can't. I went to Half Price Books trying to kill some time a couple of days ago, and I wound up spending a bunch of like $40 on some old Mads, and that didn't go over too well. Here's Tylox.
Yay, Tylox.
Hey. How goes
Yeah,
it?
well, you gotta learn to flip stuff there, Gratu. You know, buy stuff that you don't really care about and flip it. Then you can buy more comic books.
Well, you know, I talked to the owner of the store that I work at, and I said, well, what if I work a fourth day and I just work on that day for comics? He says, I don't have a problem with that because everything in the back room is already paid for. So I thought, well, if I did that, then maybe I could flip some stuff to get some stuff that I'm not interested in. And these are Simpsons comics that are try to look like old comics.
I saw a Simpsons #1 for like $20 when I first started collecting. And I was like, why would I pay $20 for that? And now I kick myself for not buying it.
Are they valuable?
Yeah, the Simpsons #1, because it was a real low print run. They didn't expect the book for anybody to buy it at all. And then those Radioactive Mans they're all right. I mean, people probably pay for them for nostalgia's sake.
Well, what it is about them is they seem clever. It's just kind of clever the way they've done these pastiches of old covers, but they're not really funny. And none of the Simpsons comics ever were as funny as the show was when it was good. And there was a time many years ago when this was like cutting edge and was a great show and it was really funny. And then at some point it just stopped. Then I just stopped. I forgot it's even on, and I guess it's still even in production, but I don't even think about it anymore. It's like Saturday Night Live used to be. You had to be there at 10:30, you know, at least here in local time. Every Saturday night, it was like the big thing, you know. Even people out on dates had to, you know, go and see that because everyone at school and work was going to be talking about that. Monday morning. That's in the mid to late 70s, maybe very early 80s with Eddie Murphy. And then at some point it just was taken over by people that weren't funny, and it's still on, and there's still idiots that still talk about it. Oh, I saw this great thing on SNL. It's like yeah, these covers are very clever. That's why I got these particular ones. I mean,
there was a segment of the show, the Itchy and Scratchy show. It was really, really gory and violent, but it had it was like an old school kind of like animation.
Right.
And somebody made famous. I can't remember who it is. He's really famous for doing that kind of animation, and it's like tongue in cheek, and it's real. And it's really weird. I can't remember.
You're probably thinking of Happy Friends, back in the early days of DVDs, early days of the internet. But 20 years ago, someone did a real violent, cutesy cartoon. But Itchy and Scratchy really go back to an issue of National Lampoon, which I have right here in this box. It was called Kit and Caboodle. And it was Tom and Jerry, a parody of a Jerry comic.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, it was, and I think that's where Itchy and Scratchy came from. So yeah, I got into some of these Japanese comics for a little while back in the 90s. This particular artist that did Urusei Yatsura or Lum, and then this comic, Ranma 1/2. I like the style and I like the stories, but I have 2 copies of that. For a while I was really into Japanese culture in the 90s and their superhero TV shows and all that. I just got into that. And I've never read this comic, Grimjack. I have a single issue. It doesn't look like
Grimjack.
I'm sure the artwork looks okay. Yeah. Oh, is he a Native American character? I don't really know anything about it.
It's a fun book. It's a wild and crazy action adventure kind of
Okay.
stuff.
Hey,
So that's something I
Tylox.
should.
Tylox, can I ask you if you're familiar with what he just showed, Grimjack? Was that a spoof of anything? Like
Oh,
I'm thinking of Samurai Jack, which I don't know anything about, but I heard that name a lot.
to me, I think it's more of like a what was the name of those kind of movies where it was like Charles Bronson. What was he?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Like real just tough guy kind of stuff. Like
Yeah. This
fist
predates.
fights and bar rooms and
Yeah. I think it looks a little science fiction, Road Warrior, Mad Max kind of got weird creatures. He's just like some tough guy. I'm sure it's a great comic. I'm not knocking it. It's just somehow I wound up with one issue.
Can you tell me the cover date?
Oh,
because it looked like late '80s.
I'm thinking it's late '80s. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's '80s.
Oh, you don't have your magnifier? Yeah.
I do somewhere.
The Gratu glass.
Well, I thought I
Get
did.
his spectacles.
Oh, I can use the actual
At least you can see
camera in the computer to blow it up. What does that say there?
80
July.
85?
Yeah, 85.
Okay.
That's a good year. That's the year I was born.
I don't know what this is. It's the Great Grimax.
I don't know what that is either.
It's issue 0. And it's like 4 pages. It seems like it's like real thin. It must have been a promotion. It probably came from this Hero magazine as a promotion for something that no one ever cared about.
Y'all were talking about this earlier.
Spawn, yeah, 1.
Yeah.
That was the best $10 I ever spent.
What issue is that?
Number 1.
Oh, the first issue.
Right there.
What's the first issue worth?
Now it's getting to where it's $50 to $70. People are actually paying a good bit for it. Like I think if you get like a 9.8 slab, people are asking like $100, $150 for it.
Jeez.
Well, he was in the news, a while back with his big 300th issue. That kind of reminded people, and they went out and grabbed more of those old Spawn number 1s.
What people finally figured out is that the print run was pretty big.
Yeah.
Everybody bought these things and then realized, hey, they're not worth anything now. They'll probably never be worth anything. So a lot of people just chucked them or sold them for nothing or read them and beat them to death.
Right.
And now when people try to find really good copies, like it's hard to find because it's a black cover, black's fine, but it's that thin paper. So it's really hard to find a copy that like has held up with nothing wrong with it. No spine ticks or anything.
Someone was telling me that later issues are more valuable, like around 80 or something. There were maybe a more run.
Let's see, the first 5 are worth a good bit, and then like around 100 is worth a good bit, and then around 200, and then around 300. For some reason, every 100 books, he has some kind of mojo on that book where people really, really get into the story, and he's like firing on all cylinders as a writer, and people are just like, great artwork, he's writing a good story, and they get to be real popular. He has lots of first appearances around 100 marks for some reason. I don't know. It's just a tick.
I think there's something's going on now with some new. I think there's an announcement of a new movie, or
they're doing another Spawn movie. It's not going to be an origin story because they've done that already. He said there's no point, so he's going to do something else. They have no clue what he's got. He's got like 3 or 4 good stories he could draw from. So whichever one he would want to do. And then he just put out some new books that aren't that bad. He put out other Spawn books. He put out one called King Spawn, and I'm on like issue 2 of it came out. It's not bad. It's just it's the same thing Spawn is. It's just different people doing the artwork and different people doing the story, but it's not bad.
I think King Spawn is part of what's driving this current resurgence and interest.
Yeah,
But Keeper, down in San Antonio. I think he's got a couple of boxes of like long boxes of Spawn #1. I think a lot of people do. I think they printed, I think, probably millions of those things. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Hey, Gratu, I wanted to show you my
Sure.
my magnifier.
okay.
It's this little guy my wife bought me, and you
Oh.
pull it down, and then the light comes on. And she got it so that I could see the dates of some old silver coins we found. But I've been noticing that I need this to read the indicia of the comic books because my eyes need help with that. But it's nice because it closes up. You could put it, it's like the size of a phone, but it's like a switchblade. You pull it out, and Basil's probably got something like this for looking at fine print of things. But collectors need something like that. And
I didn't used to, but I used to have real good vision close up. But Tylock, she'll be there in about 20 years.
That's right.
Mine's horrible. 65. Mine's horrible. Like I'm really debating just get LASIK because they said I can get it done. They said I got that. Man, with what I'd save in glasses, it might actually be worth it if you add it all up.
Well, I got LASIK about 15, 20. My glasses were super thick. They were for distance. And, so it improved my vision. Or that's why I'm not wearing glasses. But it was scary having it done because you're awake. Once you get to be in your mid-50s, you're going to need glasses, even if you have the LASIK for close. I mean, it's
hey, Tylox,
I don't. Told me that. She said when you get older, you'll need reading glasses, and I was like, "That's fine. That's fine with me as long as I can see."
Tylox, I recommend you go ahead and do it now while you can. I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but a lot of the people in the health industry are being forced out of their jobs.
Yeah.
For certain reasons, which we won't discuss, but while they still have doctors available to do that, you might consider going ahead and doing it. Otherwise, I'd tell you to wait till you're, another 10, 20 years.
Well, yeah. Here's a Charlton Jetsons. I didn't even know I had.
Yeah, I didn't even know they made a Jetsons.
Oh, that's cool.
I remember the Gold Key Jetsons, but I don't remember Charlton. I remember the Charlton Flintstones.
Yeah, Charlton had Underdog as well.
Every one of those cartoon shows has probably been made a comic book at some point in time.
Charlton had the Grape Ape. Remember the Grape Ape?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, you remember now.
Do you guys anybody have Grape Ape comic books? Is there Grape Ape comic books?
There are, but I wish I had some.
I think that the time period that Grape Ape came out, Marvel had the license to. I think the Grape Ape comics are, and that what was that superhero, the Blue Falcon that had like a Scooby-Doo looking robot cyborg dog,
Dynamite.
Yeah, that was that same time period, about the same year.
Yeah.
So that was a Marvel comic too. Marvel had a lot of licenses back then.
I love Grape Ape, man.
Basil, there were two issues in 1976 by Charlton Comics. Grape
I bet
Ape.
you they're bought.
I don't think they've ever done this. Y'all can tell me if they ever have, and I'll keep an eye out for it. Have they ever?
My comic shop has a $7 copy or number 2. That's
really?
Very good condition. So.
Have y'all ever seen Herculoid comics? And did they ever make the Herculoids a comic?
You need to look for something called TV Superheroes or Super TV Heroes by Gold Key. And the reason they had to throw in the TV in there, this will sound ridiculous, but Marvel and DC made a deal that only they could have the trademark super-hero. So if Gold Key wanted to have superheroes, they had to insert a word TV in the middle of super and heroes. And I think no one should have allowed Marvel and DC to get away with that. Anybody could have a superhero, Fawcett Comics, but when you have enough lawyers to get things done, so you need to look for super TV heroes. Herculoids guest appears in that.
DC agreed to that, or I thought Marvel just trademarked the word superhero. I don't know.
I thought it was a combined deal. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I just remember that Marvel somehow had that word superhero. But I think that when Marvel was doing Hanna-Barbera, that they may have done some Herculoids stuff in one of their Hanna-Barbera comics in the late 70s, but I could be wrong. But then it wouldn't be vintage 60s. It wouldn't be as cool, but yeah.
Hey, Tylox, go to my comic shop, look for Super TV Heroes, and you're going to want definitely issue number 4. The Herculoids are on the cover. And they look pretty good, too.
Let's see here.
There was a ABC. Was Herculoids on ABC?
Probably.
Because there was there's that America's Best Comics or TV that has Mr. Fantastic on the cover from '67 season. There's a Marvel comic that shows all the comics, cartoons, George of the Jungle, and there could be Herculoid stuff in that.
Well, hey guys, I gotta cut out and go feed my big dog. He's in the VA hospital right now, so I'll check in with you guys a little bit later on. It's good chatting.
Good to see
nice
you.
to see you guys. Brought to Graphic Man, and I haven't met you. What's your name again, bud?
Tylox the mic.
Yeah, Tylox. Okay. Yeah, I can bear that. Right on, brother. Nice to meet you. And I'll see you guys soon. Have a good day, man.
All right, Basil.
All right.
So I don't know if Tylox, I don't know if you're there yet, but when you see it, you're going to want it.
It's supposed to say what? TV superheroes?
No, Super TV Heroes.
Okay, that's why.
I just on exactly what we're talking about by complete acts.
The ABC comic. Oh
no, I have that. Not a very good copy of it. This is Marvel's Hanna-Barbera stuff.
You see issue number 4 yet?
Oh yeah.
Didn't that look good? Makes me want one.
Let's see, issue 3. They have the Herculoids.
Oh yeah, and look at the screen, Tylox. Look at the screen. See, he's got there. They are on the little bubble there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they appeared in a Marvel comic, and Space Ghost is drawn by Alex Toth.
Yeah,
I created the character, so that's the way it should have been done had they done a Space Ghost comic in the 60s. And then I bet this comic's got some worth to it, because if people have any common sense, I wonder what it's valued at. See, that's.
Well, I tell you, right now I don't have one. Right off the spot, I'd pay $8 or $9, $10 for it, and I'm sure it's probably worth more than that.
I'm looking to see
the ones that are for sale on my comic shop aren't in the greatest shape. So I mean, if you got one in decent shape, it should be worth a good bit of money.
Yeah, the art is partly by Dave Stevens. So yeah, I bet this is at least a $30 book.
Mm-hmm. Well, the number one number one of these is $80, and they've got it graded at a 3.5. So
yeah, there's the Herculoids too. Yeah,
they're right there on the cover.
While you're on that page, Tylox, scroll down to see number 3. It's got a good Space Ghost on the cover.
Oh yeah,
that's the 60s comic, right?
Yeah. Gold Key. That's the one I have. I have number 3. I'm a big Space Ghost fan. Unfortunately, it doesn't have Herculoids in it.
No.
So they're hit and miss.
They need to do a standalone Herculoid comic.
I agree. I agree. It'd be worth it just for that.
Dark
What is this?
Horse or
Their,
Marvel or somebody, anybody. I don't care.
yeah, that big gorilla. He should be on every cover.
Well, the last comic company that had Hanna-Barbera rights was DC, and they were doing these weird comics where the characters looked like real people, and they were mixed like, they had like Magilla Gorilla teaming up with Nightwing, and they had a Top Cat, looked like kind of more like a real cat, kind of like Rocket Raccoon.
He means Superman.
Superman. I mean, they were
look at the cover for number 5, Shazam instead of Shazam. I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
And then they have Birdman, Moby Dick, which is weird that they got the licensing for Moby Dick and not for Shazam. And then the Mighty Mightor, which I completely forgot about him till just now.
Well, Shazam is a new character created. So and Moby Dick is in public domain. Anyone could do a Moby Dick comic.
Yeah, they're Hercules are number 6 too, but they're fighting that big guy with glasses.
I like this cover. It's Bill Ray.
It's pretty bizarre looking.
Oh, nice wraparound.
Yeah,
And the art inside is really cool.
I just got something weird in that's new. This is from a company called Scalp Comics. As soon as you see the artwork, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, that's weird.
Let me make you bigger here. Hold on, if I can figure out how to do this.
that's a cop.
Yeah, it's Mullet Cop is the name of the book. It's an indie book that just came out.
Huh.
Oh, that's a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So he's got a mullet.
Mm-hmm. And a little pencil stash.
Yeah.
It's basically a cross between Paul Blart Mall Cop and
That Joe Dirt guy.
yeah, and there was a TV show on like HBO or something like that called Eastbound and Down, had Danny McBride in it. It's basically that. It's basically that and Paul Blart mixed together. But that art style is really, really that came out in like the late 80s, early 90s ish. They started doing that a lot with a lot of indie books.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really weird. As soon as I seen that, I was like, oh, I have to get it.
Yeah.
It's just something unusual. And I think it's just a one shot, but it's really, really huge. It's a pretty thick book. I don't know. It's just weird. They just came out with a one shot like that and just aren't planning on following up on it.
Well, it probably didn't sell, I guess.
All that.
There's something about a mullet. If you admit to liking that, you're ostracized from society.
Well, let's see here.
By the way, Grau, I saw that House of Yang. It looks sharp.
It's a Modern Comics reprint.
Well, hey, Mr. Rigor Mortis in the chat.
Oh, Charlton's here. Rigor Mortis.
Hey, Rigor Mortis, his link is in the top of the stream.
Yeah. Let's get Charlton in here.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Hey,
How's everybody?
Steve, have you ever met Tylox?
No, I have not. Just in the chat. How you doing, man?
hey, how you doing?
All right, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too. I've done all the work I'm going to do for today. I just got done cutting down some branches off the tree.
Oh. It's kind of a rainy day here.
Same here. I
It
couldn't mow.
was starting to look that way. That's why I hurried up and went ahead and just got it done. And was like, all right, I'll see you later. My buddy was like, you're leaving? I was like, yeah, that's it. It's about to start raining. I'm going home. I'm just going to go relax for the rest of the day.
Okay.
Steve, at the beginning of the show, I told him I picked up that Brave and Bold Scalp Hunter, and so I'm toying with the idea of putting that with all my Scalp Hunters.
Right.
And of course, Gratu is a purist. He says, "No, that's Brave and Bold." He's right, but
yeah.
we collectors, we start thinking things in our head too much.
Yeah,
and,
we overthink a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came on, the minute I came on, he's talking about Monster Hunters, and I'm like, I came on
They have some great looking art in Monster Hunters.
Yeah. Don Newton had tons of great stuff. I think Michael Zeck was on some of them.
How many comics were in that run, you think?
I'll look 1 sec.
I could probably find out in about 30 seconds.
I'm thinking 11.
Okay. I've got about 4 of them.
$18 looks like.
Okay. I was way off.
No, not too bad.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Pretty good.
Everybody good?
Yep.
Yeah, it's really nice out here this way. Really nice outside.
I need to get Monster Hunters number 5. If you could get your hands on that, it's got this huge lizard, and the girl would classify as good girl art.
Yeah.
It's great cover.
Okay.
Monster Hunters number 5.
I'm gonna write that down for you.
Now watch there be a run on that.
Well, I might have. I know I have.
Already on eBay now.
I have duplicates of Monster Hunters, so I might have a duplicate of 5. If I do, I'm sending it your way.
Oh, don't worry. I probably have it. I just never find things. So.
Oh yeah,
You were talking about Ghostly Tales earlier.
Oh,
That's the only Charlton book I own.
yeah.
It is so big.
there you go. Nice.
I'm bagging and boarding it. It's just a reader copy.
Well, that's a great book, though. Yeah, great.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's great. I love it. The artwork is really, really, really detailed. Like it took time. Like now I know why there's like 3 or 4 different stories in here.
Mm-hmm. You get your money with Charlton, as far as I'm concerned, but that could be debatable. How's your organization going to Gratu?
Okay. I get to the point where I realize I'm starting to box myself in that I can't even leave the room when I move stuff. Because this is a tiny room I'm in right now. And
What room number are we in?
yeah, this is room 3.
Room 3.
What floor are we on?
7.
7th floor, yeah.
I remember the first day he went downstairs and walked out to take his dog for a walk, and I thought, hey, there's no 7th floor.
Well, see, that's what got me the first time I ever saw it. I was like, does
It's
it really have
Martian technology, man.
That's right.
Yeah, it's yeah, there's only 2 floors here. I can't fool you.
Hey, Steve,
Yes, sir.
after Wednesday, we're going to do dragons and dinosaurs. Then the one after that, we'll do ghosts.
Okay.
And I'm holding this one off. It's a Charlton, but it's Pat Boyette.
Oh yeah,
And
that's a great cover. I love that mask.
He looks weird.
Oh yeah, I bought that when I was in 4th grade.
Oh yeah. So I can't wait to show that one. That's going to be awesome.
I assumed he's supposed to be Frankenstein.
Yeah, and the way he's leaning, he makes it look like he's got one arm way low, and it's just the shoulder angles. But
Yeah,
it's It's a creepy looking. Pat, whoever Pat Boyette, he could flat out paint. He's pretty.
Yeah. He was a good illustrator. He did line artwork, painted. He did the works, man. He did that great cover on your book, the fighting. Was it battle action or? Oh yeah. Fight Marine.
Yeah, with the explosion. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hate that I missed out on your live show about this. Here's my
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I got 1. I got 2, 3.
Well, you're off to a good start. Once you get those 3, the rest are pretty good.
Yeah, you're golden.
4.
Yeah.
And then I jumped 7.
That's fine. Great cover.
And then I jumped to 13.
Yep.
And then I jumped all the way to 35. But this 35 is in really good shape.
Yeah. Yeah, they're transitioning into another artist.
Yep. And it's how much it doesn't say how much it is on the cover. That's unusual.
Should have been 30 cents or something. 25 cents.
It does not say, which is unusual because I mean every comic's always said on the cover how much they are.
Really? Show that up. Show that to the screen. I want to see that.
I don't think there's no price tag anywhere on this thing.
Well, it's probably cut off on the far right. Look at the top far right.
Let me make you bigger. Well, how do I do that?
Let me figure out which way I'm going here. Okay, yeah. Yeah, there's nothing.
Almost.
Oop. I'm probably doing it wrong. Let's see. Okay, hold on. I think it should be
anytime anybody's ever tried to do that, there you go.
Cigar band at the top in red, right? You see the DC target in the middle. Go to the right all the way to the end. Isn't it in red? Doesn't it say 25 cents there?
Nope. It says number 35 November, and then it's got the little serial number 3566. But
hold it closer to the camera. Just hold it,
no price tag,
if that's possible. Because I think I see it there right above the number. So what does it say? Number 18?
Oh,
right
it is. Oh, it's just that red so faded.
It's red on orange. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Wow. They snuck it in there. Yeah, 25 cents.
Okay. Yeah, that's where it always was. Yeah,
I had something rare.
Those things would sit in the 7-Eleven spinner racks, and they'd always be in the windows, and the sun would hit right there and fade.
I had heard and seen videos of Howler Mouse ranting and raving about Commandy, and I walked into my comic book store and I looked down in the case, and issue number 1 was like, I think he wanted $35 for it. So I grabbed a handful of other stuff and was like, hey, I'll give you I think I got him down to like 25, and I walked out with 25. It's not a bad copy.
Well, good for you. Good.
You see Captain Strangelife's last show where he went to a garage sale and he wound up with a bunch of Commandees and Silver Age Flash comics and
I need to get his eBay handle is what I need to do so I can just be broke.
And he lets it be known when he tells that story that the guy that he was talking to, the guy's wife was there. So when he offered a kind of not a real low ball price, I don't want to be insulting, but he offered a lower price than was asked for. She was quick to say, "Yeah, sure, we'll take that." and the husband was like, but his wife's already spoken. What's he going to do?
Yep.
That's what he had to do. Some weird sticky.
John Bonamassa said he does that when he goes and buys guitars. He makes sure the guy's wife can hear the offer that he gives, and she was like, "Oh my God, he offered you $7,000 for a guitar? Give it to him.
That's
Give it to him." And he's like, "Yeah, sell me that 1954 Strat for $7,000."
Didn't you just show this one, Graphic Man?
No, I showed number 229.
Okay.
Where young Flash is tripping up old Flash.
No, little youngsters.
Did these get shown on the science fiction show? These DC Superstars of Space?
No, but they should have. That looks great.
Great stuff.
I didn't
cut our teeth on those books, man.
Yeah, they're great.
That's got to be Ernie Chan.
Oh yeah.
Yep. See.
And then y'all were showing cowboy stuff earlier too. I don't have any of the old stuff. I need to get some. What you got here? What is that?
DC Superstars.
This is DC Superstars of Space, yeah. And this artist, Ernie Chan, or at that point he was calling himself Ernie Chua. This is around 76. He did so many of these great DC covers around that time period, and some great Batman covers. And then later he was doing Conan the Barbarian covers and interiors. I just always really liked him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was the go-to guy, man. He was around, like him and Keith Pollard and Ron Wilson. They were always around, it seemed like, doing covers and interiors.
The guy that Captain Strangelove bought that box from, it was like in his childhood had bought a lot of the same comics that I bought. Like this was in his box, Dead of Night. But it looked like either those bags had deteriorated and the tape had become all gummy and gooey, or someone had spilled some Coke or something in between the bags, I think, because he was having a hard time getting all that stuff out of the bags.
We're forgetting that in that stash that Strangelove bought was a bunch of Hulk magazines, and those are worth about $10 each. Other places.
Mention that. Yes, the early ones were great. And then as I recall, when the TV show started and it became a color magazine, it wasn't. It was more kind of like, it seems like it was more like the TV show and less like a comic, because they're trying to get people in from the TV show.
Yeah.
But the early comic was set in the early 60s in the Silver Age, and I like that.
Yeah.
And
Walt Simonson, great stuff. And plus it had Bloodstone, backed up a Bloodstone, which was great.
Yeah, he had a lot of these Dead of Nights in the box. But there was one comic in there that is, to me, the most iconic Flash cover that he had. And I don't know if I have that issue, but I have an album from Leo Records from the late 60s. I must have got it about 71. It must have still been on this, at the PX where my mom's buying records for me. But it has the origin of the Flash, Aquaman, and Green Lantern. And it's got this image of the Flash kind of running at an angle. And it was one of the comics that Captain Strangelove got in that box. To me, that would have been worth $40, just that one comic.
Mm-hmm. Do you have all the Dead of Night?
There's
one coming up where there's this creature on the guy's roof, and he's like pushing him out the window.
Let me see. Well, it could be that I don't have that one, because here's 7.
Still,
and
that's
then
awesome.
I go to 9, and that's probably 8 is probably the one you're talking about.
Well, could be.
But
the best one you already showed, the one with the werewolf and the girl.
Yeah,
that's probably the best cover of the whole series.
This is where they go to having actual heroes, and I guess that's the last one I've got. I'm going through here's I've got some shadows in the other room. This Dark Shadows cover, I never liked it just because that woman looks like such an ugly meth head. I guess I like my witches on the covers to be pretty and not like hideous looking like that. And then this one isn't even a painted cover. It's, to me, that's kind of a cheap. But this is the way I like my Dark Shadows covers, painted like that.
Wow, look at that werewolf. That's good.
Nice.
And these are ones I bought when I was a kid. And then this doesn't look like it's DC or Marvel, but it's a DC. You can see it says. So I'll leave this in this box.
I'd love to walk through an art gallery, see nothing but original gold key painted covers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that would be dynamite.
Yeah.
I wonder how many actually survive.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't like the era of the pulps.
No.
I mean, it seems like when those were being made, people would have common sense enough to know that there would be a market for them in the 60s and 70s. There was enough of a collector's market then.
I was about to say, when did people collecting comics? Did it actually start? Like ever since comics became like the whole superhero era that came in, or
I would guess
there's always been people who just like kept stuff.
I would guess around 66.
Yeah, there were, as far as a big, maybe a little earlier, as far as a mass movement of people collecting. Yeah, I think when Marvel started, there were a lot of kids that started to collect, and then when Batman came on TV in '66, there would be newspaper articles that said, "Can you believe that this first appearance of Superman is worth $100 or $50?" Which was a lot of money. You laugh, but that was a lot of money in 1960s. So then people started to realize, oh, there's value in them. But when they came out in the 40s, they were considered to be like newspapers. People would just toss them when they finished them, reading them. And
I was about to say, there had to be some guy who was in the like 40s and 50s who just didn't want to let them go and just kept them.
Well, there were always people that collected, even in the early days. But they were small.
Tylox, in 1955, the big push to get rid of books because of they're evil and they're making kids become juvenile delinquents. So even if you did have a good sizable amount of them, your parents made sure you got rid of them. Or if you went to Vietnam, your mom's going to clean out your room one day. So that's why I say around 66 is kind of the era you're looking for as far as when did, more than 5% of the population start actually keeping them. Eric's laughing at us.
There was always a small little amount of like science fictions that existed even in the 30s, like, and then some of them would collect comics, but that was a small group.
Yeah.
It's like in LA, there was a group with Forrest J. Ackerman and Ray Bradbury and Ray Harryhausen and just people that later became big. They were some of the original nerds, and there were conventions where people would dress up, but it was very small.
And that was like 39. I know they had a big sci-fi convention of the authors you're talking about. That they assembled like 1939 or so, and very small percentage, but it was that early, which I thought was kind of cool.
There's really good books on the history of fandom. I've got them downstairs, and they talk about how it grew in the 60s. And they talk about the different parts that was a regional thing and how they started to print off fanzines on mimeographs.
Yeah.
And the purple, and they would trade. And then, it became big enough that by like about 1970, the first Overstreet guide came out.
You had all those guys like Roy Thomas and his buddies, writing to DC and getting artwork and making the alter ego and all that kind of good stuff. Bill Joe White and Ron Foss.
And then
that
local,
stuff out there.
Here locally, it was Buddy Saunders, who later formed Lone Star Comics, which is now mycomicshop.com. And they put out a comic called lone or star-studded. It was some kind of Lone Star themed star-studded comics, and they did their own comics with superheroes. And one of the guys opened another store up not far from here called Remember When. His name was I think it was Larry. Was it Larry Herndon? I never met him because he had passed away. He had like muscular dystrophy. He was in a wheelchair. But these are people, like just a few people locally that all network together. And there's something else down there that I'm not even seeing that's trying to get in. Because on this, I think, because you don't see the other people once you get 4 people. If you guys have StreamYard, you'll realize, it's Shannon, I think.
Oh,
Let me get him on. Yeah, because I don't scroll down. I don't know how long he's been waiting there. Oh shoot, Shannon, how long have you been there? I didn't see you.
Shannon,
you've been waiting a long time.
I don't think he can hear us yet.
No, well, hopefully he hasn't been.
Yeah, I can hear you now, guys. Hey,
were you down there a long time? I did good, but I didn't see you there. I'm sorry if you've been waiting a long time.
Yeah, I've just been here like the last 45 minutes or so trying to get in, but that's okay. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Really?
No, I'm kidding, man. I just got on.
Hey, Shannon, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, Steve. How you, man?
I'm hanging in
Micah?
there.
So
Hey.
I started talking about Commandy.
How's it going, Tyler?
Hey, Gratu, that was a Kaluta, wasn't it? Kaluta cover?
Yeah, I believe so. It's just
Awesome.
a great cover.
Yeah. Batman with a gun.
I hate to admit this, but this is the only cowboy stuff that I have. I've seen y'all's cowboy episode. I got some 2006-ish Jonah Hex. I got most of it.
Yeah, I don't know what the 2006 one was like, but
I need to get some of the older stuff. I'm kind of ashamed I don't have any of it. Because you can see it here and there.
That image looked like he was trying to audition for Clockwork Orange or something.
It does, doesn't it?
It's weird.
I always thought of Dave Stevens.
Cover. This one's pretty cool, though. This one kind of looks like Rennie, Motorhead.
Yeah.
Here's
What
all
have you
my
been up to,
text
Shannon?
started. Huh?
I asked Shannon what he's been up to.
I'm sorry, Steve. I didn't catch that. What was that?
No, I just asked you what you've been up to.
Just doing the dirty 4-letter word thing, work, Yeah, just kind of relaxing today.
Good.
I saw you guys on here, so I thought I'd pop in.
Oh, yeah. Glad to have you on. It's great.
Yeah, it's funny that you're on here, Steve, because I was actually talking to my buddy Rob. You probably see him in the comments as Tartan Phantom.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in Tennessee, and he was going to they have a show called the Borderlands Show. It's kind of on the border of Kentucky and Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
And he was asking me if he wanted me to pick up anything, and I was looking through some Charlton stuff, and that made me think of you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he was looking for a better copy of this book.
Dr. Spectre.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's got that white cover. It's hard to find a good copy of that.
Yeah, I know. I got like 3 copies of it, and they're all kind of like brownish looking and everything. So
Yeah.
Is that Haunted?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was looking for a better copy. Of course, a lot of these they're brown and they're brittle. And you know the deal, Steve.
Yeah.
But I had a big box of Charlton horror and mystery stuff out, so I was looking through it.
Wow.
Cool.
Oh, cool, Dr. Spectre. I love that series.
Yeah, man.
Okay. I'm pulling out anything that's not Marvel or in DC. Or there's Demon Hunter that is now a character with Marvel. Isn't that right?
Yeah, Devil Slayer, is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. They did a long, like 2-hour broadcast about this, Metarog and some of his friends. Well, they read that issue, and there's another Atlas word.
Who does the art? Whose cover art is that?
I think it's Stan Lee's brother. Ditko? Looks like Ditko at first, but then I think it's actually Stan Lee's brother, Larry Lieber.
Oh yeah, Larry Lieber. Yeah,
Larry Lieber was able to simulate other people's art pretty well. Yeah, because this is also Larry Lieber, and it looks a lot like Ditko art there. And then the girl kind of looks like she's drawn by Wally Wood, and he looks like he's drawn by Steve Ditko, and you know, and maybe he looks a little Kirby-ish, but it's actually Larry Lieber.
As much as people like Don Heck, I thought Larry Lieber is probably just as good or a touch better than Don Heck.
But what was there? I would like to be a fly on the wall the first Thanksgiving after. With Stan Lee, it's like, I mean, to me, is that it's complete betrayal of his brother.
Yeah.
I wonder what the real story was behind that. I'm sure someone's written it.
Well, I'm sure Martin Goodman thought Stan Lee's betraying the Goodman name here by, not letting Martin's son take over. So it kind of went both ways.
All right.
Yeah, but Martin Goodman, Chip Goodman are related, so they stuck together to form Atlas Seaboard. But that's Stan Lee's brother that's like doing all the.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, that is a little deeper than uncle and nephew. Yeah.
Yeah. Oof, man. I don't know.
So you making progress?
I'm not really, because I'm getting all these comics out of the boxes and I don't have anywhere to put them. So I'm making progress creating chaos. It's kind of like, is Joe Biden making progress? Yes, he's making progress.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, I'm making progress fucking things up here. Is what I'm doing. Looks like these are some books I pulled out of a W box, probably because it was overfilled, and now I got to find the next box to put them in. What is this? Yeah, and it's like all these damn Buddy Saunders, Lone Star Comics. He used to sell these bricks called Wounded Wonders, and they were all these damaged comics, and sometimes I'd get amazing things like out of them. And sometimes I get things that I can't throw away, but they're just like garbage, man.
How long ago was that they were selling them that way?
90s, 2000s.
Okay.
There were books that were too messed up to sell, but sometimes they just didn't have a cover, so they're perfectly good reading material. And there were a lot of it was from the Silver Age. There was even one brick of comics I got that had 4 EC horror covers in there and a science fiction. They were just the covers.
Wow.
And I think you paid like $10 for a brick of comics or something like that. So I just framed the covers in the hallway. But the ones that are kind of okay, you can put them in a spinner rack and they look okay because maybe the bottom of the cover is damaged, but it looks good in a spinner rack. But like this, I think this is an Atlas Seaboard, but it's coverless. And sometimes I use my phone. Let me see if this will magnify it. What does it say it is? I don't have enough. I
can't see it.
And
it's Wolf the Barbarian, which was Atlas Seaboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Atlas. Yeah.
So, I'm not going to throw it away, but, having all these coverless comics, it kind of looks kind of trashy. Just a bunch of stuff like that. It just looks like you're some effed up kid and I have several copies of this, but, I can't throw this away, but it's just in
right
edition.
Well, you know that old saying about trash and treasure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is a wonderful thing. It's just it's not really something. It's not up to the standards that I would like to have for my collection. And then like you get a Dennis the Menace comic, and they put how do you pronounce it? Indicia.
Indicia.
Yeah, I think
I've
so.
never really pronounced it until I started doing the show, and then I heard Captain Strangelove saying it. It's like, wait, that's not the way I say it.
Yeah, I said it wrong.
See, how was that pronounced?
Indicia, but
I think I was pronouncing indica or something. I don't know. But Dennis the Menace, the indicia was on the inside front cover, so you don't have a cover. You don't know what this is, but it's still fun to read in theory. Yeah. Sometimes comics just feel grubby, like you're touching a little kid's hands, even though the kid hasn't touched it in 40, 50 years. You still, the feeling like a little kid that's eating candy and you hold their hand across, your nephew or something.
Yeah.
Like that grubby little kid hand feeling. I guess the slick cover prevents you from touching the paper, and then when you touch it, it just feels that way. But here's a Peter Pan comic. Oh, it's a reprint from the 70s. But it just I sometimes I might have a whole half a box, long box of these damaged comics, and they disgust me. I mean, really, no, seriously, like this is pretty bad, and I can't chunk it out, but it's like barely there.
Yeah, I've got a big stack like that. I just kind of like pull them out and stick my nose in the center of it and smell once in a while.
Yeah,
right.
It is. You're right.
Someone made a candle. Some company. It's old comic book paper.
They do.
And a candle.
Are you kidding? They really did?
They do.
Yeah.
I know there's a.
I've heard it's really good.
What is it? Play-Doh. There's a Play-Doh perfume.
Oh wow.
That's crazy.
So I don't know what this. Oh, this came all the way from Hawaii. I don't know what this comic is. Shadow Man. Was it any good?
It's a good comic book series. That's really one of my favorite Valiant books.
Is it good? Hawaii Collector Gallery, Honolulu, Hawaii.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good series.
That's something I thought the other day. I've always thought, all these books that I bought, like, at shops here or off of eBay or whatever, how many different books I have from all over the country or all over the world. Like, where have these books been? Where I just bought them from. Like all these things are like they have stories. They
man.
Well, here's the thing. There's the store that I'm at that I work at a few days a week. The store that Ultimate Fallout comic that everyone loves. That people love, that's supposed to be so wonderful. Where I don't know anything about Miles Morales. I saw the cartoon. It was good. I've never read.
Yeah, I like the Ultimate Spider-Man,
but he's pulling off his mask, right? And it's Ultimate Fallout with a white cover, right? So, the owner of the store got thousands of that comic, and he was giving them away every year to kids at Free Comic Book Day, and he would stamp the store on it on the front. And now that comic is worth all this money, and there's apparently all these people online that are furious. Who is this guy that ruined all these comics and stamped them? And I think in the future, those comics are going to have more value because there's a story behind it. And I don't really think a store stamp is damaged. It's a white background. It's stamped on the white background. It doesn't mess up the artwork.
Yeah.
But I don't know how. But people, and I don't know because people don't read comics anymore. They send them off to CGC. Does CGC take points off if it's got a store stamp, and otherwise it's in mint? Because they're selling them.
I know they don't do it with date stamps. They don't care about date stamps, which I think is the same thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, to me it gives it more character. But anyway, they got them. They're selling them for $60 a piece, but if they have the stamp, they're selling them for $40. And I think there's boxes of them. And so I shouldn't maybe be letting people know that there's a lot out there, because I think everyone wants to think, oh, it's a collector's item, Miles Morales. But there's tons.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is, maybe I should send this off to CGC, huh?
Oh, yeah.
They'll give you a
might get a
0.5.
0.1 on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have stuff like that. I have stuff that are all pages. They're all loose, and I try to keep them together. I got some Twilight Zone that way.
Yeah, see, but there'd be cool stuff like this. This was in one of those packs.
Oh, that's a great book.
Yeah, that cover, but it,
doesn't need it.
It would look good bagged and boarded in a spinner rack, because
sure would
the top part, and it's not too damaged.
Yeah, that's a great book. Back cover or not.
Yeah, I think I have a copy of that. It's in much better shape.
Is he getting a ticket? Is that why he's mad?
He's got like he's got a watch. He seems to be telling him the time, but
like a parking meter. I don't know.
Oh, it is, because there's cobwebs there. Boy,
cobwebs on his car.
Oh, he's been parked there too long. Okay.
Yeah. So, there's the ticket up in the air. Yeah.
All right.
Which is written in English. Wouldn't it be like cave figures? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. They're it's like it takes way too long to understand this joke, and
written in Cro-Magnon.
I'd take it though. I don't have it.
Yeah, I know. It's just. Oh my God, this is so effed up. It's just like, look at this page with the piece just hanging. Well, why do kids treat their comics this way, man?
Yeah.
I can't say anything. I used to cut all the floating heads off the covers of my books and make my own little lineups like the Avengers and the Justice League, and I still got those in a plastic bag somewhere, actually.
Yeah. Well,
who was that guy who did Batman with the really tall ears?
Talking about Kelly Jones.
I think
Bernie Wright did too.
He did it in mid-90s or whatever.
Yeah, that was Kelly Jones.
Yeah. I remember getting those comics as a kid from Walmart and taking a pen and being like, you know what, he didn't do so good of a job here. I need to shade right here a little bit. And, add a couple lines here. I can remember that.
I think Bernie Wrightson started that when Batman appeared in Swamp Thing, and then that Kelly Jones tried to one-up him to the point where they're insanely long.
Yeah. Plus, he did that one really long ears in that 4-issue series, The Cult.
Yeah.
Real long ears in that.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, who all in the group here has read The Cult, all 4 issues?
I have.
Okay.
I don't remember.
He gets drugged and brainwashed by this cult leader.
Yes.
And that's the whole point of the 4-issue miniseries.
Right.
But earlier, there is hey, you got the reprint of what I showed the other night. Cool.
Oh.
Excellent. Where was I? Oh yeah. In Brave and Bold with the Green Lantern, the Russians get a hold of Batman. They put him in a water tank. They cut off all senses to him for like a week. And they notice like he's in a tank. He can't feel anything. He can't see anything. Can't hear anything. And to make sure he doesn't go crazy, he repeats the name Joe Chill over and over again, which is the guy that killed Bruce Wayne's parents.
Yeah.
And the Russians are saying, he keeps mentioning this Joe Chill, and Green Lantern overhears it, and Green Lantern knows his backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's able to survive this whole Russian brainwashing. Yeah, for this cult miniseries, one guy's able to brainwash him just like that.
Yeah.
The art looked pretty interesting. It was a kind of a standalone,
right?
Slick paper, so they could charge you more money. I mean, it did okay it sold, but I'm such a nitpicker that I have a memory of, hey, wait a minute, how could he?
Yeah.
Do good against the Russians, but then this one guy must be just this most brilliant.
Got a point. I mean,
January
6th. Starlin wrote the cult, right?
Yeah, Jim Starlin, right?
Okay.
Yeah. He should have done some research because that makes a lot of sense. That he shouldn't have been succumbed so quickly.
Yeah. That Green Lantern story, that was like in the 70s. Jim Aparo, right? Did the art.
I think so.
Yeah.
I want to find that.
I've got that comic. I remember that cover now. Yeah.
Yeah, they want Batman to shoot Green Lantern.
Exactly.
So they give him a gun. Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah.
I know the cover. Okay.
Yeah.
I need to find that book now. That sounds interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got that box right in front of me, but I'm going to wait.
Get these comics where they, they'll do, they shoot Batgirl and she's in a wheelchair and
Killing Joke.
Gordon is naked and probably raped by the Joker and what else? Although the art was beautiful and everything, and the writers said I never really intended that to be part of the continuity. It was just an imaginary story, but they had to put Batgirl in a wheelchair for 20 years. And this new Batman, the Three Jokers, I haven't read it. I actually bought it. I mean, you've got like, I think it was Batman or somebody naked tied to a chair. And then there's all these naked men coming out of a pool. It's like, what is going on with this comic? And of course, they have to do that with James Bond, have him tied to a chair naked. It's like, well, what's going on with the writers of these things? That's not, I don't know. Bunch of vaulted evil. This was a good comic, Wanted. Stuff.
Yeah. I've got that series. I think I did a video on that maybe last year.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
a fun stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's got a lot of great Golden Age stories in it.
If you're not watching Stargirl, you've got to start watching it. I was joking about this, how the supervillains mansions are always located right next to railroad tracks, so they can just throw you right on the like what house has a train go that close? Usually it's like little shotgun shacks that are right that close to the railroad.
Right.
But yeah, that Stargirl show is really, really good, and it's not perverted, and it doesn't have a social agenda. It's just a fun show, and it follows the comics. Oh, and it had they went to talk to some expert. There was some little arcane bookstore in the town where Stargirl lives, and they went to talk to this guy, this antique bookstore, and the name of it was the House of Secrets, and it's the exact logo from the comic the other week. It's cool.
Yeah, I like those scenes where they're going down Main Street and all the movie marquee says stuff like GI Combat or the Unknown Soldier, or
Where is that filmed? Because my wife and I keep thinking that would be a wonderful place to live. It's not a movie set. It's a beautiful town.
Probably in Canada at the CW show. That's where they film most of that stuff.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's disappointing. I would want to live there for sure. So, yeah, let me get everyone the same size.
I'll show you a crazy book. Superheroes Battle Super Gorillas.
Oh, I was just looking
Oh,
at
yeah.
Yeah,
I got
that's
that.
great.
Yeah.
That's another Ernie Chan, right? Chan and Coletta, maybe?
Yep. And Vince Coletta. Yeah, boy, you're right.
There's several of those. Do you have all of them?
This is the only one I know of.
This one.
That's the first one. This is kind of their reprint of that. And
Yeah.
for years, this would be in the
like part of the
is
DC
it?
Special Series. Yeah.
This is basically what he's got. Just I think a cooler cover because it's all happening to one gorilla at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Poor gorilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
16
Monkey's getting no
issue
respect.
for it has this great Jack Cole art. It's number
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
And this is a real valuable thing. I don't remember why. It's the first appearance of something or other. This thing that they gave away free at the comic store. It's the first appearance of something that matters to somebody, like maybe Hellblazer or something. We could look up DC Sampler number 3. If one of you has the ability to do that, DC Sampler 3, like look at mycomicshop.com. It's the first appearance of something. There's 2 copies of this. I got 2 of that. And then there's number 18 is Earth-Shaking Stories.
Oh, yeah. That's another good one.
And then
Let's have a lot of cool reprints.
19 is War Against the Giants. And that's got to be Ernie Chan, too.
Yeah.
Sometimes even at EC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Towards the end of that run, wasn't there one called the War with the Dinosaurs or something, and Captain Cotter
yeah.
was in it?
Yep.
There's War Against the Monsters.
Right. Yeah.
There's a dinosaur.
Well, I'm at my comic shop. It doesn't say why it's special, but it does say that it's got Swamp Thing and Batman and the Outsiders are in it.
Does it have a high price?
Yeah, because it's a CGC. They got a 9.6 for $100.
I think because of the Swamp Thing, if I had to lay money on it, it'd be the Swamp Thing feature.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I had money.
Ernie Wrightson.
Their hard breaks with the satellites. Let's come back and get into that and talk about
I started my phone and Alex Jones started yelling at me. I was listening to him earlier. DC Sampler 3.
Now, maybe comics.org would have a better write-up, but I'm not at that website just yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good source.
September 25th, 1984. The character John Constantine could have possibly made his first appearance in this issue.
Yeah, it's really starting to be that way now. What is it? For years, people said the first appearance of Gambit was X-Men 266, and now they're like, no, technically his first appearance was in an annual that was out like a few months before that, and it's starting to be this huge debate on what people's first appearances are and what their cameos are. I'm like, look, this is not hard. If you see them, like them in full form, if they say anything, if they talk,
That's one of my favorites. Yeah.
But then that opens up that there's the scab off with the Wolverine thing, because it makes Hulk 180 the true first appearance, because he's his whole body and he talks.
Yep.
And
I have the cameo of Ultron, and literally it's the cameo because you can't even see his face. Like you see him from behind. You don't know it's him until the next issue. So you wouldn't be able to ever say that's his first appearance. But he was technically in Avengers 54, but his first appearance was in 55. And I was like, but you don't see his face. You don't know who he is. Somebody says his name. He doesn't even speak. It just ends on that panel.
Yeah, to that point, Mary Jane shows up early in one of the Ditko stories, but you never see her face. You just see her kind of shaded. But her first real facial appearance is that last issue, or that last page, Face It, Tiger.
Right.
So I don't know, who cares? Just get all the books.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I did a video on it or not, but I found a comic that I'd forgotten I'd had, and it was you remember the War is Hell series that Marvel put out in the 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had like the first few issues, and I found issue number 9, and I was just kind of looking at it online. I was like, why does this book cost so much now? And apparently they call it like the first unconfirmed appearance of death in the Marvel universe, and all that relates to Thanos and all that stuff. So I was like, wow. I said, I didn't even know that. I was just wanting to read the last part of that series because it was new stories, I think Steve Englehart did some scripts on it, and maybe Dick Ayers and Herb Trimpe did the art. But I was like, what is this book about? When I was looking online, I was like, well, I'm glad I got it, but what's the significance? And I was like, that's crazy.
It is. It's phenomenal on what people pick and choose at the first appearance of someone, what they do, and all of a sudden it just jumps in price, which and it's arbitrary. It's like when
people just trying to one up each other and be like, well, that's not really his first appearance. This is his first appearance because you don't have this one. I have this one. That's what it is.
That's all subjective, a big part.
Howler said it years ago that he thinks the whole grading thing started just because people were like, oh, you have that book too? Well, mine's in a nicer condition than yours is in. So that makes my book better than your book.
What's the Avengers number where Ultron first appears that you have?
His first appearance is 55 because you actually see him. He says words, all that good stuff. I'll see if I can find it.
Hold on. I've probably got it here. Well, no, that would be in the other room.
There it is, 54.
Yeah, that's in the other room. Because I divided my Bronze Age stuff. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find. He's literally just the last panel. It's just him from behind, like you did. They don't say his name. He doesn't speak. None of that.
See, this is what I consider to be the beginning of the Bronze Age because to me the Bronze Age starts when that stripe at the top.
Yeah, that's a great book.
I take that back. I lie. You do see his face, but he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, Gratu, I agree with you artistically. That's the Bronze Age. But in the back of my mind, it will always be Conan number 1.
Right.
Is the Bronze Age. But he's in that in-between state. I can definitely see why you would segregate in different rooms those books. But
yeah,
I don't know why I did it. That was foolish. But I did it.
No. I think it makes really good sense, like I say, from an artistic standpoint.
Yeah.
But character-wise, Conan starts the whole. In fact, I'm hoping Steve will come back. I wanted to ask him about Thongor if he's familiar with those books. He's very much a literary book reader.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Mike. The Conan number 1, and also to me, Green Lantern 76.
Yeah,
was kind of the start of it for me.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, I've been reading Thongor, and there's 8 issues. This is my last one. I'll be reading it tonight. I thoroughly enjoy it. I don't know if Gratu can share my screen or not.
Sure.
But Steve, have you heard of these?
I don't know about your screen. I can do this.
I guess it's not popping.
What did you want me to do?
Well, somehow I'm trying to show a screen that I have loaded in the.
I don't think I can share something from your computer.
Hey, Tony. Why not art? Tony.
Well, Paulo did this. Is it not showing up as an extra person coming in to chat with you?
No. I didn't know. I don't know how the. Well, maybe. Oh, yeah, there actually is a second graphic man.
All right.
All right, I can. How weird. I didn't know. Okay, sorry.
Are you seeing Thongor? I don't know how big it'll be.
Oh, wow.
Coming up. Hold on.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know those were novels.
Can you see 3 books?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Lynn Carter wrote Thongor, and so that's what Marvel Comics is basing the first one, The Wizard of Lemuria.
I know.
And so Steve, have you seen any of these?
No.
I haven't
I have
either.
not.
That's great.
Yeah, I can't wait. I want to go get that second one, the Dragon
Yeah,
City.
I love the dinosaur cover. I'd get those for the covers alone.
Dang,
So,
that's pretty nice.
And now I'm going to try to bring in a fourth one. You
Lynn
see the
Carter.
young Thongor. They draw him like an
Yes.
Indian almost. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want
That's
to look
nice.
for these.
Oh well, you can now minimize it if you want, but
Wow, that's neat.
I didn't know if those are worth getting or not. Maybe the comics are superior, because sometimes that'll happen.
Right.
But,
Right.
I'm enjoying it.
I enjoy the Elrics, the Elric novels and the comic books just as much as the other one. I mean, I know it's a different author, but it's based off the novels and the books and everything else of Elric, and they're great.
Well, I like it because they've created this boat that will float, and so they get in trouble. One of their guys comes in, drops some ropes, and Thongor will climb up and get out of town.
Right.
But it's pretty neat. It's
Nice.
not Conan, but it was okay. I wish it would have gone more than 8 issues, because I got one more to read tonight. I'm enjoying it. It's going to be sad
That's
this is
great.
going to come to an end. So.
Yeah. But you got the novels to look forward to now.
Yeah. If I can find them.
Yeah.
I don't think I can go into Walmart and say, hey, where's the Thongor section?
Yeah.
And like you guys weren't here earlier, I kidded Grut too. If you're doing a search for the word Thongor, be careful. You're going to get all kinds of pictures of girls in thongs and some guys in thongs. You don't want to see. So.
Yeah, the same thing. I always warn people. I say subscribe to Graphic Man, but type in Graphic Man comic book, because if you type in Graphic Man, you're going to get Graphic Man shot by police, and you're going to be watching footage.
Yeah.
People shot in the stomach or something.
I hope over time, though, they'll put my videos more towards the top there. But yeah, that is pretty rough.
Well, I just found this in another box.
There it is.
Yeah.
Cool.
Everything's out of order.
You'll be tempted to put that with your original now, even though they're kind of different series. But
well, I'm trying to put everything in chronological order. This is one of the first comics I got as a kid, but it didn't survive. So this is a later acquisition, but it's just a gorgeous cover.
Yeah.
Man, I was just looking at those Thongors last night, and I don't know where that box went. It was labeled C.
Yeah, creatures.
Creatures on the loose. There it is. Gosh, I'm moving the wrong stuff.
What was the other character in the Creatures on the Loose? Was it Gulliver?
Manwolf.
Manwolf. Gulliver Jones.
Gulliver Jones.
Yeah. Earlier, yeah.
Yeah, Gulliver Jones was like he actually predated John Carter, I think.
Right. I love those Steranko covers.
Yeah. Well, he predated John Carter, like John Carter's creation. I think he was from like 1902, or maybe the late 1890s or something.
Wow.
But John Carter is pretty much what everything goes back to. Flash Gordon, Star Wars, everything goes to that, including that, Lynn Carter having the floating ships in that Thongor. That's a John Carter thing. Okay. hell was that? I could show you the itchy and scratchy beginnings here. I've shown it before, but that was about 1973. April 73. So a lot of great comic art in National Lampoon. Okay, this is the issue to look for. Well, how do I do this? Okay. It's June of 73. It's the violence issue. So I was a kid and I was in the PX June of 73. Okay, I would have been living in Hampton, Virginia at the time. So I see this magazine on the newsstand. I figure it's a news magazine, National Lampoon, National Review, something like that. But I look at, there's a cartoon cover. So I'm there at the comic books in the magazine section, and this thing has all this warped art, and I'm thinking, what is this magazine? And it's just and what it turns out to be is like a Mad magazine, but aimed at college, older students. So next to this Johnny Winter ad here is this is where the idea for Itchy and Scratchy came from, is Kitten Caboodle.
There you go.
Wow.
It's got the 10-cent price and everything. And then the National Lampoon was brilliant. So they print that on slick cut paper, and then the inside is printed on comic book paper. And so really, they got an ad for sea poodles. But
yeah, they're getting killed and massacred. And
yeah, he's going after the mice with a chainsaw, and
Of course, it's one would. That's how I kill the mice here.
Oh, he scratches the big face.
Yeah.
Nonstop. Without any doubt, Matt Groening had this issue and inspired Itchy and Scratch.
That's the kind of stuff
later.
Dr. Wortham had all the housewives thinking that was in every comic that you were getting back in 55. So.
Yes.
Right.
Well, that's what a lot of parents thought the Warner Brothers cartoons were, that they were going to hold on. But, it just shows what would be the real consequences of using these weapons, because like Daffy Duck or Elmer Fudd would get shot in the face with shotguns, and then a few seconds later, they're back to normal. Yep. So they're afraid that there were kids stupid enough to actually believe that was the consequences of that, which is just bad parenting.
Daffy Duck had Wolverine's healing and vulnerability thing going.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to get down to... Oh, that's what I did. I moved all these damn boxes on top of the C box. But that's okay. I've got to move these boxes to the other room anyway, so... I'm going to get to that Creatures on the Loose box. I want to see if I have a complete run of Thongor now.
I am trying to complete a run of the 80s Web of Spider-Man run. I'm trying to knock that out and get it done.
Well, I'm running into Web of Spider-Man. I'm running into like 15, 20 copies in mint condition of every issue, like whole long boxes. Like there's 30 copies of Web of Spider-Man #1. Here's 25 copies.
Wow.
Every time I hit somebody up to buy some, I'm like, hey, do you have any? They give me a list of like, it's usually about 30 books that I need.
Yeah, Tylox, I'm going to bind the first 100 Web of Spider-Man as soon as I get like about 3 more books. But I don't really have any interest beyond 100 or like 101. The art just starting to do it, and I didn't care about the 90s too much.
Dead Riley stuff, which they're about to bring back.
Well,
But
that's the one that's, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
That's the one where Cloak and Dagger started. Am I right? I don't know. Or was that another?
I need to know. Hold on, I'll look it up.
I just found the first Cloak and Dagger comic. I think it was Web of Spider-Man, or it was Spectacular Spider-Man. I'm finding
probably
like
Spectacular
stacks of every issue. So if there's a particular issue that's hard for you to find, I could probably find it.
Spectacular Spider-Man 64.
Okay, yeah, I just found a bunch of that, and
I think I actually have that.
I don't even. Yeah, I think I do too, but Cloak and Dagger never. It's not really something that's stuck in my memory as something amazing.
I didn't know. I didn't know that was like.
So once I get web bound, I'll go after the first 200 issues of Spectacular. But like after, I don't really have much interest after that.
Yeah.
But Spectacular had some really good stories. Tombstone as a villain.
Spectacular, I have a bunch of those too.
Tombstone was fantastic. If we didn't have Lee Marvin set aside to play Doc Savage, he would have played it. He would have been a good Tombstone, because now we have the technology to do that thing where he doesn't really have much of a nose.
Yeah.
This is the comic that changed my life in like third grade. Some kid had this, and I had to trade him for it. It was a horrible condition copy, but then it's a reprint of a Not Brand X issue with parody of Superman and a parody of the first issue of the Fantastic Four. It's brilliant. Okay, so what's the first issue of Thongor? No, this is Gulliver Jones.
That's a good one. You're going to want to look for number 22.
Okay. I'll just go through these. I remember third grade, this kid telling me how great Gulliver Jones was. Yeah, there's
Oh yeah, I love those covers. Gil Kane.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. I have to have more of those than that.
Yeah, you're getting close.
There we go. Where's 21 is still, Gulliver Jones with this great Stranko cover. I almost made this the thumbnail for this episode because I had this.
Oh yeah, there's the Stranko cover a lot. Yeah.
Okay. So 22, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great condition too. All the way to 29.
And then I've got another 22. I think this cover, whenever I saw it, I would buy it because it was so amazing.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 of it.
Hey.
I'm not quite like Silver Age Dave yet. He has like a whole box of Tales of the Zombie #1 and stuff.
Yeah, that's that multiple copy sickness. I've got that too.
Well, multiple copies look cool when they're all together, I have to admit. And I stumble on it all the time, like every day at work is like, well, there's all these copies. It looks kind of cool. It's like a brand new book that's coming out on Wednesday, but it's from 40, 50 years ago. And there's a whole pile that have never been read. It's kind of neat seeing them all together. It's like a time warp. What is this issue? 24. Have I missed any?
Nope. That's the third issue. You're doing good.
Oh,
great cover.
Yeah, I'm going to complete my run on that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
25.
The interior art's pretty good. It's and another thing about this series is they don't give you all the pages. They wrap each story up pretty quick, and then the last 3 pages are a classic Steve Ditko, usually from like old Journey into Mystery or old Strange Tales.
This one I don't know who the artist is, but this one.
Yeah, it wasn't always Ditko, but most of the time it was Ditko.
Okay.
Hey, Graphic Man, who did most of the interior art on that series?
The guy was starts with the letter V. I can't remember.
Oh, Valmeric.
Merrick.
Probably.
Yeah.
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 Valmeric.
I always liked his art. Yeah.
And his is like a little bit of John Severin, a little bit of Buscema, somewhere in between.
Yeah. Didn't he do? He did a few of those Monster of Frankenstein issues too, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great.
And near the end, the art was Vicente Alcazar.
Yeah, Alcazar. Yeah.
And he's not bad either.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not be what people would consider top shelf, but it's very passable.
Yeah.
I haven't been watching Gratu. Have you missed any yet?
I don't think so. I got the value stamp.
Yeah, 22 through 29. I would bind this, Steve, but only 9 or 8 or 9 issues. The spine wouldn't be very big, and so I'll leave them alone.
Put them with the Gulliver comics. Make it Gulliver and Thongor.
You know, I should probably go get those too and just do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to be about 15 issues then.
Yeah.
And I got another issue of 29, another copy rather. Then
I should just get all the creatures on the loose. Yeah. I should just get all the creatures and then just bind all the creatures into 2 volumes.
Yeah, volumes too. I mean, depending, how many is the total issue run?
Does it end with 33 or is there more after that? This is 33. I don't know. Oh, here's some Charlton, but it's Modern Comics reprints. Are Modern Comics valued at anything? They didn't used to be. I think
probably just the Charlton fans.
All right, Gratu, they stop at issue 37, but they only started at issue number 10 because
what was it before?
They pick up from Tower of Shadows.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
How weird.
But then I'd be tempted to go ahead and get all 9 of Tower of Shadows.
What is the run of Creatures on the Loose end with? Does Manwolf go all the way through to the end?
Yeah, and that's 37.
Yeah.
And it's still Manwolf.
Tower of Shadows.
Should bind these too while you're at it.
By that time, Manwolf is in outer space.
Yes.
Story get real weird.
Those are some of my favorite sci-fi Marvel books that you're showing right now. Love them. Love the covers.
The talk of the playground after Killdozer aired.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I just did a video recently on Worlds Unknown.
Yeah, there's a band from the 90s called Killdozer that's pretty good.
I actually saw that movie on TV when it came out.
Yeah, I remember. Here is Sinbad. I think he has hemorrhoids.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah, George Tuska did the work on that.
Make when you have them.
Yeah. What did they do in that movie? They got it on a big metal plate and electrocuted the bulldozer. Was that it?
It seems like something like that. Remember, there used to be a lot of redheads in the Middle East. At least she's a brunette in the movie.
Yeah.
I always loved, I haven't always loved it. I didn't even know this existed until a couple of years ago. But when I found this comic, I just love the look of it. The logo's great. The box, the portrait picture box, whatever you want to call it, from the 20-cent era where they have the art in a box. I love that. And it's just something great about it. Just visually, this is a great looking cover.
Yeah.
Oh boy, what have I done?
well, thank you, Gratu. I called him about 3 hours ago and said, "Hey, are you going to stream? I'd be glad to join you." And I wanted to stay till the outlet. It started. I think I'm going to go get me a Dr. Pepper and watch some Alabama. And Tylocks, good luck to your Clemson team. I don't know who they play, but
I haven't even checked. I'm about to go out with some friends of mine and get something to eat, and then I'm going to come home and take a nap.
yeah.
I haven't had breakfast yet, so I'm going to get something to eat with my wife here.
But I'm gonna watch this replay because Gratu was showing a lot of more modern-y type stuff that I've never seen before, but it looked really good. I need to write all them down and
Mr. Monster, yeah,
check all those out. So, Shannon, Steve, Tylocks, great to see you guys.
You
Yeah,
too.
you too. Yeah.
And thanks again, Gratu. Fantastic, wonderful.
Yep. He's out. If you guys you guys have this Spotify thing?
Yeah.
On your phones?
Yeah, I use
I created a playlist. I don't know how Spotify even works. I got on it about a week ago because these people at work had their Spotify playlist, and I thought, well, I'll make my own. And so I got a little obsessed with it and created a playlist that is now 93 hours and 43 minutes long. So if you want a Gratu radio station to listen to, if you go there and look for this, Gratu Orloff's music to read comic books by.
Okay.
So I don't know. It looks
great.
like it's one of these things where you can get it's like a popularity contest where you can see how many people like you like it or something. I don't know. Or people subscribe to you. Is that how it works?
It's like Instagram or anything else. You subscribe to it or follow it or whatever, and it just shows you how many people think you have good musical taste.
Oh, okay. Well, because I don't think I have any followers yet, but it's something I've been enjoying just listening to. But you've got to put it on shuffle so the songs play randomly, because that's how you'll get the best effect. If you just let it play in order, because I was like, and I was looking up a certain kind of music, and then I go to another kind of music, it may not. I think it's better if it's random. So go there if you want some music, and hit shuffle. Because I
check it out.
Yeah.
I couldn't find my Creatures on the Loose. Any of you guys collect this series?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's one of my favorites.
Good stuff.
I probably like The Living Mummy.
I was just thinking of The Living Mummy. I just found a Marvel, like 3 copies of the Marvel team up where I didn't know there was one where Spider-Man teamed up with the Living Mummy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is like my favorite one of that series. I had this one as a kid. I don't know what happened to it, but I love that cover.
Yeah, I was telling the story about why they used living on all those titles, and of course, you already told us that story. I tell these stories all over and over again. Do you guys know why they did that?
Was that because of the comics code, or?
Yeah, because the comics code in the 50s said you can't have the undead. So people say they're living. So it's Morbius, the living vampire, the living mummy, the living colossus. Everything's living.
Oh yeah, I love that living colossus story. What was that? Astonishing Tales?
Yep,
I think so. Yeah.
21 or 22 through 24, maybe.
Right, the same era as the Thongor, all
right.
About the same time. Gulliver of Mars, all right around that same time. I think 3rd grade for me because I'm 56, something like that.
You're still young. I'm 58.
Yeah, well, you were just starting junior high or something probably when those were coming out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, I guess I'm gonna wrap it up, and I'll worry about. I'll probably do another episode, maybe Monday, where I continue with this mess or something.
Cool.
Today's Saturday, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be at work tomorrow. So
hopefully soon I can join you guys on the Fossil Show. It'll probably be December and January, but I got like 2 or 3 weeks off then, so I can probably catch you guys on a couple episodes.
Yeah, it's hard for me. I wind up filling up the last 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, where I work evenings, it's just kind of tough to,
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we could do like every couple of weeks. We could do one of these shows that's on a Saturday, early Saturday morning. That would help out Paulo too, because he's
that'd be great. You're right.
Yeah, that'd work.
On until 3 a.m. his time.
Yep. All right. Well, I'll see y'all later.
All right. Take care.
I'll see ya.
We'll see you guys. Let's see. All right. So, guys, I will see you.
All right. See you guys later.
That's right. So long.
Guys, take care.
Take care, guys.
All right.